Hello, Transformers and Blokees fans. This is Speedball, and today for you guys, I have for you Blokees renamed Classic Class Now Champion Class Series TF1's High Guard Commander himself, Starscream. And yes, my friends, this is an awesome kit to finally get released because, of course, for many TF1 fans, we've been wanting to see more characters outside of the main cast get a release, and definitely was worth the wait for Starscream here because his design from the movie is awesome. It's just sleek. It's perfect Seeker design, but before Decepticon times, and it is just so cool to see all the color accuracy they gave him, the details, the mold, all of it. It's just so cool to see, and hopefully we will see more of later with other Seeker characters. But for now, really quick, of course, for those who have seen my other reviews will know that yes, just like the others, this is of course the same type of stand that the Rise of the Beast series was using for their line and is now of course reused for this line. And just like them, they of course come with this really cool energy effect piece for each character, and each in a different color. In this case, it's an interesting orange. I have to admit, it's an interesting color. I like it's yeah, as I already said, it's interesting. Though it's nice too. I mean, it matches his eyes, literally, in the sense, and so forth. It'll be interesting to see what other color variants we'll see for that. But besides that, let's take a good look at our good Air Commander, High Guard Commander, Starscream. Because as you of course know for the movie, my friends, he is not technically a Decepticon yet, nor is he technically a Seeker, because in the movie he was the High Guard Commander, which is still, pretty much the same thing, but still awesome. And as for, like I said, the detailing on him is great. Color separation is always awesome. No stickers, of course. And articulation-wise, pretty good, actually, with this. And if you're wondering for any, issues, I didn't really have any issues with Starscream, nor have I heard of much, because, side skirt armor, it's pretty good. No other armor pieces I've had any issues with. And posing, articulation, all that, it all works out pretty well. And as speaking of articulation, if you're wondering, yes, you can do the full 360 around now. Yes, of course, you will bump into his wing, but of course you can adjust that with the ball jointed shoulder setup real quick. And he can bend about that far. And as for his elbow bend, about that far before you bump into his weapons you see here. And yes, the gun is on a small peg, so you can move it about a bit or detach it if you want. And of course, just like all the others, his hand is on a ball joint, but does bump into his armor. So do keep that in mind. And as for waist, you can pretty much go all the way around, but do note you do need to move his his nose cone section here out, as you saw, in order to do that, so you know. And as for the head, it's on a ball joint. You can go full 360 with no problem, surprising enough, with all the armor around him. So there's no worries there. And as for the back, you see here, his wings do have some articulation points, so you can do some poses with them if you want. And as for legs, pretty much about that far for him because of the skirt armor. Now, of course, if you move the armor out of the way, you can get a bit more, but only so much. And as for back, if you move that back skirt out of the way, you can move all the way back, and a full bend to the head with no problem. And just like all the others, he does have a full 360 knee, but it is a bit tighter on this one, I will say that. But in the case, that's actually a decent sign because then it won't be too loose. And as for his feet, ball jointed setup, so it's posable all over and such like that. And he stands pretty well with his his big feet. But they are pretty good when it comes to posing, and of course for just simply standing by himself if you want. And as for accessories wise, if you're wondering, As for accessories, my friends, well, he doesn't really come with a lot outside of pretty much handsets. You get open hands and you get closed hands. But the cool part is these ones actually come with armor, where it's actually got a color separate piece, where a number of the other units were just molded hands. So it's pretty cool. But the biggest accessory, however, in this release you're definitely going to want to pick up is this. Yes, Blokees has found a way around the whole no alt mode gimmick deals for your collection, because they've given us here a surprise, a fun little size mini Megatron alt tank mode, which is really cool. It's fun, but it's awesome because we've already seen this kind of gimmick with their lines already with their other Galaxy lines and such. And the cool part is that now, if you're wondering, oh man, my Megatron TF1 can't transform, well, now he doesn't have to, because you can now literally just add his alt mode as an accessory piece, which is really cool. And as you can see, it's fully articulated, well, for its size. And it's just fun to have, of course, especially if you already have the Megatron release, because now you can. Oh, well, that was my fault. You can now. Well, let's just blame Starscream, right, guys? But as you can see, yes, he can now display Megatron in both modes. That's pretty fun, honestly. That's pretty awesome to have. I do like that. And it's a new fun gimmick that Blokees has been adding with their line now with these mini vehicles. So I can't wait to see what other ones we'll get, because I know of a few for right now for TF1, but we are also waiting, hopefully, to see more for other characters. Maybe a Seeker one for Starscream here, or hell, maybe we'll get one for Sentinel or any of the other characters we'll get. It all depends and such. Now, before we do size comparisons, yes, just like all the other units, Starscream here does have, of course, the LED chest feature, which in his case is just pretty much for eyes, as you can see. And as for size comparison, as you can already see, Starscream, of course, being the right hand of his future boss and commander, Megatron. Besides, of course, his armor, his actual head is about the same height as Megatron here, so it lines up pretty well, of course, in very, Decepticon accuracy, if you catch my drift. And it's awesome to have these two together, of course. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a Galaxy Starscream, TF1 version to, of course, show you guys with him like I've done with my other reviews, unfortunately, mainly because we haven't gotten one yet. I'm not saying we won't, but we haven't seen one yet. But there's a percent chance we might see one, because I know that the upcoming Galaxy volume that we are getting is supposed to be the second volume to their TF1 volume. So you never know, we might get another Starscream release. Would that be something you like, guys? It'd be awesome to see. But other than that, yes, that's pretty much it for today, my friends. Now, my final thoughts on this character. Yeah, I can easily recommend him. There's no reason not to. I mean, for one, not many lines of the TF1 toy lines have given us many Starscream toys and such, or any of the other High Guard characters. And with Blokees being Blokees, there's a good percent chance that this mold will be reutilized for a few other characters. I am hoping for Thundercracker and Skywarp in this case specifically, of course, because Skywarp is interesting in this case because he's got actually a different head comparison to Starscream and such, so that'd be awesome. I wouldn't mind if we ended up getting some of the other Fem cons like Slipstream and such, or even just the Rant or the Conehead Seekers. Those would be pretty cool to see. Well, we'll have to wait and see, though, my friends. Let's put it this way: what Seeker would you like? So yes, that is it for today, my friends. I thank you always for coming. I do hope you're enjoying your hobby, and I do hope that you'll check out some of the new TF1 Champion Class Seeker, or sorry, High Guard units that are to come. I thank you all for coming.